In this lecture, we'll study the Emboss/Engrave tool. This is a three-dimensional tool that we can use to incorporate text into a part. Examples of where this can be used is branding or adding part numbers, and it is especially useful for when we are designing plastic injection molds. So here are two examples we can see on the screen. The text on the very top is what we call embossed text, though it's where it protrudes from a face. And just below that, the text there is what we call engraved text, which is engraved or carved into the face. So let's move over to Fusion now and see how these tools work. So I pre-drawn a cube, as we can see, it's 100 by 100 by 100. The very first thing we need to do is to add some text. So we need to start a 2D sketch. So let's go for this face here. Let's right click and select Create Sketch. Now we're looking perpendicular at that face. Let's now come up to Create and we'll select Text. So like we did in the 2D sketching section, we have the option here to either input a text box or we can write text on a path. And so it's up to you. In this case, let's actually go for a path. I want to draw an arc, so a 3-point arc. I'm just going to use the vertical constraint tool to position that in the center. There we go, that'll do for now. There we go, that will do for this example. Let's come back into our text tool then, and let's go for text on path. So we need to define the path, and then let's input our text. So let's go for Autodesk Fusion 2025. I'm okay with the size of that. I want to make sure that's in the center of this arc. Let's press OK. Let's go on the home view. You can see our 2D sketch in there. Let's now go to Finish Sketch. Let's come over to Solid tab, and under the Creation tools, so the 3D tools, let's use the one here called Emboss. So the toolbox pops up. We need to define the profile. So we just hover the mouse over the text. It'll highlight in blue. Left click that text. And in terms of the face we want to emboss from, we're going to select this face here. Okay, let's take a look at that preview. It's looking good. So let's embossing height, a depth rather, of 2 mil so far. So feel free to change that. Let's go for 4. Okay, so a bit exaggerated. And then we've got the option to choose the effect. So whether it's embossed or in Fusion, they call it deboss, but the term that we use is engrave. So for example, if I select that, we see that red highlight there indicating it's removing material, and we can see it being engraved or debossed into that face. But for this example, let's go with emboss. And then in terms of alignment, we can offset this. So I go on the top view, rotate that. We can use our arrows here to offset this how we like. Okay, here we can also change the angle. I'm going to leave everything there as a default. 0, tab 0, tab 0. That's okay. And then if we rotate that, so we can use the view cube, yeah, we can see that looks good. We've got our 4 mil embossed text there. And exactly the same process for engraved or debossed. Go right click on this face, create sketch. Go onto our creation tools, hit text. I'm just going to go this time for the text box. Okay, start, finish. Enter my text. Let's go Fusion 2025. I need to flip that orientation, both vertical, horizontal. So place that in the center. I turn the text on bold. Press OK. I'm happy with that position. Let's finish the sketch there. Go on the home view. We've got our text in place. Go one of the creation tools, and again, emboss. In terms of profile, we'll select the text there. And in terms of face, we'll select this face here. So in this case, we just need to deboss, and let's go for -2 in this case. Just look at a preview there. Yeah, that's looking good. It's what we wanted to do. I'll leave all my alignments as 0. Press OK. Looking nice there. So that is how we emboss or deboss or engrave text. It can be part numbers, it can be brands, it can be any form of information like a label. And as I say, for plastic injection molding, this is particularly useful. So a very simple tool to help us there. And I'll see you in the next lecture.